FM's Tip Today.
With Slattery's Garage, Hook On. Main Peugeot dealers in the Premier County. And now stocking the full range of the luxury French car brand DS Automobiles. Book your test drive today with Slattery's Garage, Hook On. See slatterysgarage.ie.
Yeah, glad to be joined now by Thomas Ryan. Thomas is a community activist in Clonmel. Thomas, good morning to you.
Good morning, Fran, and good morning to all your listeners.
It's good to talk to you today, Thomas. You've been thinking about the whole idea about drug misuse, and I know you saw that really unfortunate video that's doing the rounds as well. You think that it's time we looked outside the box in dealing with drug abuse?
First, Fran, I just want to say you got correspondence there from a relative of the person who was involved in that video over the weekend. Yeah. I agree 150 million% with that person. Mm. They are someone's son, someone's daughter, someone's family member, and it is hard to see it. And my heart goes out to people that are on drugs and are taking things like that. I know people saying, look, the streets are unsafe and all that, but at the end of the day, we have to remember, people fall into bad places. Some get out of it, some don't. And when I seen the video, I actually just turned around to the person who showed me, and I just said, let's turn it off. I just couldn't.
It was a hard watch. That's for sure. It was a difficult watch. But I know, Thomas, the moment you say that, and I know that you mean that with great kindness and all of that, people will get on to me, as they did while I was speaking to Stacey, and say that's all fine and very well, but you have kids witnessing this kind of thing now, and you have people who are feeling unsafe in their own town.
We do, Fran, and look, it's the sign of times. It's not just happening in Clonmel. It's around the country, and it's knocking on everyone's doors. It's just been highlighted more in Clonmel because we are a big land town, and it's just been highlighted more. And people are using their phones and all that.
And when you talk about thinking outside the box, what have you in mind?
What I was thinking, Fran, is they should look at the model that's been rolled out in Dublin at present, which is called the Medically Supervised Injection Facility. It's been running since 2024 in Dublin, and it's run by Merchants Quay Ireland in conjunction with the HSE. They have this place where people can go in, they can shoot up in a safe, professional place.
With clean needles.
With clean needles, the place is disinfectant and everything afterwards. And with that, then they're kept in there for 30 minutes to see if they're okay, if they need anything, like if they need any help, or if they're going to relapse or anything like that. This is what they should be looking at. Now, I know it's been rolled out in Dublin at present, and it's 18 months. We're nearly into a year.
And it's addressing, I guess, the possibility of overdose and the like as well. Yeah. Yeah.
But I was just looking at some of the stats from it in Dublin. Like in just within 3 months of it, the 300 visits. More than 100 unique clients. Majority of the ages were between 25 and 44. And it's several overdoses that are managed on site with no fatalities whatsoever. So if that alone doesn't speak that Clonmel needs something like that on a smaller scale, it'd be great. It would cost somewhere between $250,000 to $600,000. It's something that would be so beneficial for the town of Clonmel and for the county of Tipperary as well as the south of Tipperary.
But I remember when that was brought up first in Dublin, the idea of having that medically supervised injecting facility, there was a lot of trouble over it, and a lot of people said, we don't want this in our area. We don't want to have an area that drug users are flocking to, and it's going to make us unsafe here and make our area unsafe. So there was a lot of issues around the establishing of this.
Now, I walked down there many times. I know I've been Dublin quite a lot because I have friends up there, and I have a bit of other things up there as well. And I've walked down by the riverbank at the Liberties. That's where it is. It's over in the Rivercourt, in the riverbank, in the Liberties. And you know yourself now, the Liberties is one of
the oldest parts of Dublin.
The oldest parts of Dublin, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. And with that, I have spoken to people there. At first, they were like, yeah, we are kind of a little bit, but as time went on, they started to get into the idea of it. And they really are now kind of a lot of people out there now, and I'd say a majority of people out there are so good to see it. They're saying that people are going in, they're being safe, and that it's been done right. Now, I think the 18-month rollout of that is due to end in the middle of next year with a review. And I think it's something that, if it looks well for Dublin, why can't they roll it out throughout the country?
I think one of the difficulties is if you do this, you're accepting then that intravenous drug use is happening, and it's happening to such a point that you have to kind of supervise it in some sort of fashion. And I think people are slow to come around to the notion that we have to accept this. Would you agree with that?
I would agree, but why can't we accept it that it's being done in a safe environment? There's a bill before the Dáil in the next week or two in regards called Decriminalise the Drug User. It's a Labour Party bill. Now, I'm not promoting it that I am a Labour member, but this is something that a bill that is going to bring in, if passed, hopefully, that it will focus on the drug user and it will decriminalise them as well. So you will see community-based harm reduction services addressing disease transmissions and overdoses, introducing supervised injection facilities like they have in Dublin, and a commitment to the client-centred and advanced-based recovery programs, which is something that really needs to be brought in. And as many of your listeners have said over the last week, the dogs on the street knows who is dealing the drugs in Clonmel.
And could I, just for the sake of argument, could I say to you, and it might be occurring to some of our listeners out there, I mean, the kind of cost of setting up a supervised injection facility, maybe that would be better spent in terms of, prevention. What would you say to that?
This would help prevent. Like, I've done a bit of research on it. I sent it on to yourself. And
it's here in front of me. Yeah.
Between 250,000 and 600,000 a year. If that money could save 10 lives, isn't it money well spent? Like, we won't be looking at 300 or 400 people going in a day in Tipperary. Right. We'll be looking at a handful of maybe having 3 to 4 booths. Like, they can't say we don't have the room of services. There's plenty of services in Clonmel that can be redone. One, you could look at Quilgreeny House. It's on the offices. 2, there's plenty of rooms up in the old St. Luke's building. And 3, we could even look at the substance misuse centre in St. Luke's grounds as well. So, like, all that could be looked at.
Okay, and for those who would say to you, well, Thomas, you're active in our community, what about the ordinary people who are trying to make their way around this drug taking and, trying to get on with their lives, and they're affected by this?
Fine, look, it's not just everyone. I'm affected by it as well. Like, I'm living in Clonmel. Like, I'm living in the town centre. So I see it day in, day out of what's going on. Yeah. And my heart does go out to these people. There should be a place there for them. And people should try and not feel safe. The powers that be, that is the Minister of Justice, along with our own TDs, our councillors, and every stakeholder should come together and try and improve this, make Clonmel a better town, better lives. And what we need is joined up thinking. And I know now, I've heard Deputy Healy, I heard Deputy McGrath, and I heard Deputy Murphy talking in the Dáil about this. And in all fairness, they're trying their best, but I think they're banging their head off a brick wall. I think Jim Callahan needs to come down and see what's going on in the streets of Clonmel. And also, one guard out of 194 given to Clonmel. That's ridiculous. In the last round.
Yeah, and that's in light of Gardaí who are, transferring and the like, or Gardaí who might be out sick. And and
when you think of it, like, the Gardaí themselves are stretched beyond being stretched. We're not just dealing with Tipperary anymore. Like, Clare and Tipp are together as one, and the headquarters is in Clare. When you think, like, the headquarters of Tipperary Division should be in Tipperary. Like, we have Guard College, the National Guard College in Tipperary. Why can't we have our own division of our head as well?
All right, Thomas, it's an interesting conversation, and we'll see what comes from that. But good to talk to you as always. Thanks for your time, Thomas. Thank you. That's Thomas Ryan speaking to us there. A caller spoke to Leanne and making the point, as a recovered drug user myself, it says here, I would like to commend the conversation surrounding the unfortunate video this week. Although I'm not in a position to come on myself, I wanted to share my thoughts. Drug use is a slippery slope. One too many hangovers after hard nights of drinking leads to a line of cocaine to feel fresh for work. This turns to more lines, suddenly on weekdays, weekends, and any time you can fit it in. The urging and the burn takes over. It's all you can think about. Suddenly, you are the most confident and funny person in the room. You constantly search for this feeling. You watch your friends and family suddenly disgusted by you. You feel shame, but you feel helpless. It took over my life, and thankfully I got help. These conversations are essential. From Stacey to Thomas, these are the things we need to talk about, and I thank you. And that's from our listener today. Martin Brown was on to us. Martin, of course, a former Sinn Féin TD in Tipperary. He says, Fran, yes, people should feel safe in their communities, but let's have a bit of empathy for the addicts. They are somebody's husbands, sons, daughters, family, or just friends. The vast majority of antisocial behaviour in our towns and villages is caused by those who, as a society, mostly ignore that is the recreational drug users. Why is that not being covered more by society or by the media? None of us know what addicts have gone through to find themselves in situations as has been covered this week. That comes in from, as I say, in from Martin Brown. How do you feel about that? 083 311 3311. Somebody saying, where is that talk on drugs happening tomorrow evening? It's happening at the Talbot Hotel in Clonmel at, is it 7 o'clock? I think it is. I'll have a look back at the notes. Oh, hang on, they're here in front of me. It's happening at 7 o'clock and running until 8:30 tomorrow night at the Talbot Hotel in Clonmel. And on Friday then, again at the Talbot from 10 o'clock in the morning until 11:30.
If it matters to you, it matters to us. Call Tipp today on 1-800-938-007.